Welcome from the Strategy Execution Duke Corporate Education Partnership. Hi, my name is Jonathan Gilbert, and we're here to take a look at a course in the Adaptive Strategic Execution program. Today we will look at aligning work with strategy. As I mentioned, my name is Jonathan Gilbert. I'm a Vice President for Product Development within the Strategy Execution side of the partnership. And I am responsible for the management of the program and of the product, which is the curriculum. And I've been involved with strategy execution as an instructor, developer, and consultant since 1992. Today, we're going to take a look at aligning work with strategy. Let me walk you through the agenda first, and then we'll get right to it. Here is an agenda for a quick tour of aligning work with strategy. We'll first take a look at an introduction where we'll talk a little bit about what the course is about. We'll then take a look at the learning objectives, which are the expected outcomes for a student completing the course. We'll then take a look at how the course is organized. And then finally, we'll dig into an example of an actual course material that students will experience in the course, in this case, an actual exercise. Aligning work with strategy introduces multiple viewpoints on strategy and how today's complex environment necessitates a more adaptable, responsive, and fluid concept so that there is a tighter coupling and feedback cycle between strategy and the response in execution. A diagnostic framework, the strategic execution framework, is introduced and applied to identify the important domains that must be aligned to successfully execute strategy. Let's take a look at the learning objectives for aligning work with strategy. Upon completion, a student will be able to describe global trends that make today's work environments different, to explain the importance of translating and aligning project-based work to organizational strategy. Students will be able to identify areas of misalignment in their organization and team that impede strategic execution. Students will be able to utilize a framework to identify domains that must be aligned to improve the chances of project and program success. They will be able to assure that project-based work success serves the goals of the overall organization. They will also be able to architect the alignment of necessary elements for strategy execution. And finally, they will be able to translate the organization's strategy to the work of the department, the team, and the individual. Let's spend a minute talking about the course organization for aligning work with strategy. You'll notice that there are 7 modules. The first module is a perspective on strategy and execution. The second module is where the strategic execution framework is first introduced. Module 3 talks to several of the domains within the strategy execution framework of ideation, culture, and structure, and their alignment. Module 4 deals with how to measure success and results within the strategic execution framework. Module 5 actually takes the strategy execution framework and maps strategy to execution. Module 6 interprets the larger strategy to form your strategy at the project-based level. And then finally, Module 7 is a discussion about maintaining alignment during program and project work. Let's take a look at an actual exercise within the courseware for aligning work with strategy. The name of the exercise is Who Will You Keep? And it's an exercise exploring organizational structures and their importance to aligning work with strategy. It's a 2-part exercise. The first part asks the students to use the information presented in the organizational chart to help a major oil and gas company decide upon the 3 resources that they should retain from a recent strategy execution acquisition. The organizational structure that you see is essentially a formal hierarchical organizational structure showing a functional orientation to the different parts of the organization. And as students are completing this part of the exercise, they are looking at the various important people that they think make up each one of the functions. Students typically are selecting one of the people at the highest levels of this organizational structure as the three that they want to keep, perhaps Avery, McWaters, and Milovich. Now, the second part of the exercise takes a look at the organization from a different perspective. In this case, students are given information about a network diagram that exists within the organization that actually graphically portrays how work is being accomplished within the organization. And then the students are asked to review this diagram and, if appropriate, update their original selection for the top 3 resources to be retained. And as you can see from this diagram of the way work is actually accomplished within an organization, that students probably are going to select 2, maybe 3 different people in order to retain, because we're looking for the people who actually act as information hubs that are leverage points within the organization. And so in this case, students will typically select Mitchell. He's got a lot of lines of communication coming into him, as well as perhaps Schultz and perhaps McWaters. The intention of this exercise is to show students the difference between the formal hierarchical organizational structure and the way an organization really works and who's really important. If you want to learn more about aligning work with strategy, please contact us at strategyx.com/ASAP. Thank you.